welcome back to Vlogtober day 15. I'm Angie, Indie Dyer, and today Incredible Mess. I recorded something a little while ago and then I decided that it was probably boring, so I decided not to go with that. And then I just recorded something and realized that I accidentally I was like flashing the camera around, oh, here's what I did today, I did this and this and this, and realized that I showed like the entire pile of advent calendars, so that I'm having to re-record now so that I don't accidentally spoil anyone. I didn't say that it was advent calendars, but once I realized that they were, there was this big pause, and so people probably would have figured out that it was something that they weren't supposed to see. Well done! Excellent job, me. Anyway, as I was saying in the now deleted file, as I was saying, Thursdays are normally the day that I would pack up orders, or that we would pack up orders, and one of us would go into town to drop them off, but stuff wasn't dry yet. We're having to kind of adjust time scales because it's a little bit colder and damper this time of year. Also, we moved our drying tower from over there to over there, and over there is closer to the door, and I think that maybe a draft is maybe making things take a little longer to dry, so we might have to get a draft excluder over there to make sure that cold air isn't coming up under the door. I don't know if that's for sure what it is, but it does seem like things are taking longer to dry than usual. We have had a lot of stuff crammed in there this week, though, so it could just be that there's a lot in there. So today, instead of packing orders, I caught up on some admin, and we discussed how we could potentially make things a bit easier to deal with in the lead up to Christmas, to make sure everybody gets the stuff that they need, to make sure stuff gets tracked, to make sure that it's reliable, to make sure that, that we are able to stay safe, not having to go out every day to post orders, which is what we would normally do in the run up to Christmas. We'd be going out every day to make sure that people are getting their stuff as soon as possible, but I don't feel like that's super responsible this year, so we've been talking about ways to kind of manage that, and I do think it's going to be easier to manage for UK-based people because we can have courier services come and pick up from outside the door, which it doesn't cost very much more than sending stuff through Royal Mail, but the issue is like the integration with the website, so that we're not having to like individually type in everybody's address line by line, which is it doesn't sound that bad, but when you're talking about 60 orders, it's very time consuming, and it also leaves more room for user error, and I don't like doing that. I would prefer to have plugins where it just imports everything automatically. Like even with CSV files, there's been some user error, usually on my part, I'll be honest, usually on my part, where, I forget to mark something complete, or I print a shipping label, but then, anyway, it's a whole thing. So we worked on that, and then I also worked a bit on catching up with labeling. Labeling is something that has increased exponentially in the amount of time that it takes. It used to be that when we only carried like merino nylon and one other base, it was pretty fast because I dyed batches of 5, so it would be like, oh, well, if I dye 5 of this colorway, they're all going to be the same yarn base, and so it'd be easy, print 5 identical labels, slap labels on them, bam, you're done. But now that we have so many different bases, especially if I'm dyeing back orders, instead of having 5 skeins of merino nylon sock yarn, it'll be like one of that, and then a merino bamboo, and a yak sock. Oh my god, a yak sock, a DK sock, or a BFL, or whatever have you. Like, it's increased pretty exponentially, I think. I hope you're enjoying the excellent view of my ladder here. I hope that is thrilling you beyond belief. However, if I do this, you can see that there's yarn there. Those are undyed advent calendar mini skeins that have been put together. They're like zip tied into batches. Sarah does all of that because I find it boring and annoying. So they've already been zip tied into batches, so they're ready to go tomorrow morning as soon as I get up. And under that are pans of yarn that have finished dyeing, but they are now cooling down. And then if I move my head, that's some back orders there behind me, and then my big old shelf of plants, and then there's some bowls with yarn over there near the stove, and obviously the yarn shelves with everything in Rubbermaids. My TV just went off and it got really dark in here. Let me just turn that back on. Anyway, so that was what I was working on today. So I worked on some of the stuff up here, stuff that has to be photographed tomorrow. That's a new colorway there. It's called Celeste, based on Celeste from Animal Crossing, sort of starry night sky. And then these sort of tweedy looking semi-solids. I dyed them like a month and a half ago, and I just haven't gotten them photographed and up on the website yet because everything's just been perpetually behind this year. And then this is in the photography pile, as well. Those yak mini skeins I showed you last week, I'm going to photograph them tomorrow. The photography file doesn't live on the back of the couch. It's just there because I just literally just finished twisting stuff up. It goes into like it's like a plastic purple crate. That's where the to be photographed stuff goes. And then I twisted up a whole bunch of mini skeins. These are just like random mini skeins. They're either leftovers from clubs or there's stuff that I dyed up for the yarn shows that never happened this year. But yeah, so the random mini skeins, you know, sometimes we'll pop them into orders for people as kind of a thank you, or sometimes we'll do little giveaways with them. But they were all kind of chilling at the bottom of one of the pop-up laundry bags we use for yarn. They were all just kind of like chilling down there in a big pile, so I thought it was probably best to get them all twisted up, and they will go into their little crate as soon as I'm done with this. And then I've got some stuff over here, some back orders, and some, here's one of the BFL neon colors. So basically it's similar to the yak. I've used the same dyes and stuff, it's just on a different base. But that stuff's damp. I just pulled it out of the spinner and then sat down to talk to you, and I'll put it into the tower. I can't show you the other side of the room because there's a bunch of advent calendars over there, and that was my fatal error last time, and being like, hey, look at all that stuff over there I have to do. And then I was like, oh, I shouldn't be showing people that. However, I can show you that there are 3 laundry bags full of yarn that I have labeled today. So those are all ready to get put away into the crates. As you can see, it's a little bit Leaning Tower-esque, and there's a lot of it. Anyway, so I have been clearing out some of those to make room for some of the new bases that we have, like the British sock, like the organic linen wool blend. What else is new? Those new sparkle chunkies, but those didn't stick around long. Those, they have a place and a label, but they sold out so fast I didn't even have to put them away. I'm hoping to get some more of those in at some point, but I don't know when that's going to happen. And then I have been dyeing up some yak merino for myself, and sort of getting to know that base a little bit. It's not a base that I've dyed before. I mean, I've dyed yak sock, but this is different. This is not, it doesn't have that gray base to it. This is more of a normal, like, sort of undyed yarn base, so the way that it takes color is a bit different than I am used to. So I've been playing around with that. Everything's labeled, so I don't know if I'm going to put it away tonight or if that's going to wait until tomorrow, but we'll see. Anyway, that's going to be it from me this evening. I'm afraid I know that this was a little bit boring, but sorry. I will hopefully see you all tomorrow.